second. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, IG. How you doing? So I was given a task to do. And today is Wednesday. And this Wednesday is normally popular for women working and all that good stuff. But Wisdom Wednesdays. Wisdom Wednesdays is what we will do definitely for the month of December. Good morning. Praise the Lord. A proverb a day keeps the devil away. So I'm going to begin sharing um the book of Proverbs with you all. And basically last night, and I was hearing it as clear as day, God was saying that we're not even using the sense that he gave us. We're not using what was given to us, and now we need to tap in, and wisdom comes from God. So for those that may not know what the book of Proverbs is or what it's about, I'm going to introduce what the book of Proverbs is about. And it's really a book of wisdom. We are not using the sense that God gave us. I mean, that's what we need to know. So on Wednesdays, I thought I was gonna be able to come a little earlier than now, but I've just gathered myself and got myself together enough to be able to bring forth this amazing and encouraging word. So, why should we read this book? This book, it gives advice. Giving advice is big business. You don't want to listen to or find yourself listening to a fool. I definitely tell you that. From daytime talk shows to advice columns, self-help books, our culture is full of information, but often starved of wisdom. Proverbs, it offers spiritual depths to issues ranging from managing money to the dangers of adultery to learning how to identify true friends. Good morning. And here we find wisdom that works and insight that won't wear out. Okay. So this is why we're going to dig in and read this book. And like I said, God said what he gave us. So who wrote this book? Solomon. He was the wisest king to rule Israel. He wrote much of it. And to whom was it written? To the people of Israel. That's why this book was written, particularly the young people just starting out on life's journey. So it's a lot of young people that just may be trying to figure out which way to go. What should I do? Who should I talk to? It's so many old fools now, honestly. You have to get in the word and build that relationship with God for yourself because a lot of people are not using the sense that God has given us. I was one of those people, but I thank God for the turnaround, and I thank God for wisdom. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So when was it written? Solomon, he reigned during the 10th century BC, but many of the proverbs were not compiled and edited until several centuries later, around 700 BC. Why was it written? To show how godly wisdom merges with real life. And we'll cover that in chapter 1, verses 2 and 7. Good morning, good morning. What is a proverb? Okay, so a proverb, sometimes called a maxim, is the truth condensed. The truth is a truth condensed into a few words, stated in a memorable fashion with application to a variety of situations in life. So when you understand a proverb and when you gain the wisdom from God, then you will be able to apply godly wisdom to your real life. And it's already been proven. It already worked. It has stood the test of times. So that is why we gonna have wisdom. Good morning, good morning. So we're going to talk about, yes, excuse me? Give me 1 second. He's not coming out, hon. What to look for in Proverbs. The big ideas of community, fitting in, entertainment, fear of failure, sex and dating, stewardship, service, the power of words, and more. Also, watch for contrasting ideas such as foolishness and wisdom, laziness and diligence, adultery and faithfulness, and true and false friendships. Pay close attention to the differing outcomes of those who follow God's wisdom and those who don't. So that's what you can look for as we dive into this book. So we're going to talk about the purpose and theme in chapter 1, the Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. A lot of people know David as being a man of God's own heart, if you don't know. And what made David the man of God's own heart is because he did not mind humbling himself when he realized that he had done fell short, regardless of how much royalty, kingship he had. He would humble himself and he would begin to posture himself to bless God. He wanted to do the work in the will of God. His flesh definitely did get in the way several times, but God said, this man is after my heart, regardless of his shortcomings. And that right there, that's a good place to bless the Lord right there. But his son was able to tap into another realm of God, and it was wisdom. Because Solomon he didn't want the stuff. He wanted to do it God's way. So for gaining wisdom and instructions. And as a leader, we need instructions, whether you just lead in your household, if you have a family, if you have children, you need clear instructions and wisdom on how to lead your family, your household. But God said we're not using the sense that he gave us. So now it is time for us to definitely position ourselves to gain wisdom and instructions. And it says for understanding words of insight, for receiving instructions and prudent behavior, doing what is right and just and fair, for giving prudence to those who are simple, knowledge and discretion to the young. Also, for understanding proverbs and parables, the sayings and riddles of the wise. In verse 7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instructions. So we're just gonna, stay there for this first part of this Proverbs, and it lets you know right there in verse 2. So about gaining wisdom and instruction. So what is wisdom? It is the basic idea, the basic idea behind wisdom is skill. The term wisdom is used in the Old Testament and is described as the ability of garment makers, craftsmen, goldsmiths, sailors, and even professional mourners at funerals. The book of Proverbs used the word wisdom to speak of the skill of living in a way that honors God. Okay. What distinguished biblical wisdom from so-called wisdom of the other ancient nations? Is it the foundation in the fear of God, which is in verse 7? Yes, okay. Since God is the source of wisdom, reverence for God is the controlling principle for applying these wise observations about the way life work. So when you, like in verse 7, it said the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. When you, and we're in a generation that everybody think they know everything, but if you don't fear God, and I remember I was in a season where I felt like my reverence for God, which fear meaning the reverence of God, it had shifted, it had moved. I believe that it definitely was the trick of the enemy that made me kind of bring God down to more of a mediocre, even though I know he's God, but I had came to a point where I'm like, oh my God, I ain't fearing, the Lord like I should, because some of the stuff that I'm doing, I know better, and immediately I had to go in and definitely repent, ask for forgiveness, and put God where he needed to be. And from that time to now, oh no, I can't bring him down, because I know that what I need, it is in God. And if I don't fear God, then I would be having a form of godliness, denying the power. I would be self-righteous. I would be trying to do it my way and not really operating in the ways of the Lord. When you can't counter operate, it's only one way, and that's when you begin to even get more understanding. I was in Luke a couple weeks ago, and I was sharing, and it was saying that even the stuff that God has given us, if we're not careful, he will take those things from us. The level of understanding that you're able to get, even with parables. Everybody don't understand parables. A lot of stuff fly over a lot of people's head because certain people have access to a different level of wisdom in God. If you've been spending time with God more, and there's really no age on wisdom. But I tell you what, everybody do not have the same level of access, but you can gain access by understanding the word. If you don't understand, it is our duty to ask God to help us understand it, and ask for wisdom, godly wisdom. So that's what we are just gonna cover today. As far as our proverb. That's our proverbs for today. We read Proverbs 1 through 7. That was awesome. And we did do the intro. So if y'all want to catch this on the replay, and you can catch some of what was said, and that way you're getting your wisdom this Wednesday, because a Proverbs a day keeps the devil away, okay? So next Wednesday we will come back, and we'll probably be reading from 8 to 18 or 19 or something like that, if not like 12. But definitely know that we have to begin using what God gave us. Use the sense God gave you. Build from there. Humble yourself. We have to grow. We have to follow instructions. We got things to do, and this book was written for the young people. That was mainly for the young people who were starting out in life. It's a lot of young people, and they're making a lot of foolish decisions, because the people that should be in place, the pillars that should be in place, they're not in place. Let's just tell the truth, they're not in place. So let's get in place. Let's continue to pray for our young people. Let's continue to seek God, and receive the wisdom, receive correction, receive instructions, because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instructions. And it ain't no age on being a fool either. It ain't no age on being a fool. So don't let it be you. Don't let it be you. I am Tiffany, Empire Impact Ignite. We will have Full of Faith Friday. So on Fridays, we are going to be coming from the book of Hebrew. I'm gonna start telling y'all about the Father and our Father of faith. For those that don't know, is Abraham. So that's gonna be exciting. Bear with me as I begin to show up for you all. I'm excited about what is taking place, but every Wednesday we're going to do Wisdom Wednesdays. Wisdom Wednesdays. Yeah, everybody's been working, but guess what? Now it's time to apply wisdom. Good morning, good morning. Now it is a time to apply wisdom so that way you're working smarter, not harder. So we got to thank God for wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be here to gain wisdom. So I'll see y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have an amazing day. Don't work too hard. Catch this on the replay. I'm out. Love y'all much. Enjoy your day.